Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, pop and lock and salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map, stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Wrong button.
It's just me bobbing my head in the background.
Well,
like I
mean, we're
assume
both
everybody else is.
jamming out.
No, I'm messing the
Yeah.
twos rant. Do you want to rant? You want to rant?
Yeah, I want to rant. I hate
wants to
this
rant?
time of year because you can feel the leaves are changing and the days are getting shorter and it's getting colder and all of the smart mosquitoes have been killed and all the little wily bastards that have so far managed to elude you are the only ones left. And they're basically just flies with big fucking noses. And they're pretty hard to kill. All right, here's the other thing. Have you ever noticed that every single major organized religion is just a cover-up for male pattern baldness? It can't be just me that thinks this stuff. All right, Buddhist monks, what do? They shave their heads, presumably so that they can, so that the guys who have no hair can hide amongst everybody else and nobody knows. Hell, even go back to like the friars back in the day, like Friar Tuck. What did they do? They just cut the whole top around. So if you had that big empty circle in the back, nobody would notice. Jewish people, the yarmulke, it's perfectly designed and positioned to also cover that spot on the top. Sikhs, turbans. If you have no hair, you cannot tell the difference between that and somebody who has full, luscious locks like these. All right? And then Catholics, worst of all, the bigger your hat, the more important you are. I don't know why, but every single major religion is just a cover-up for the fact that some important guys at the top are losing all their hair.
Well, I'm in a good mood, as people could tell by dancing in the background. Okay, man, the old mashup tune. Kevin Damon.
Kevin is deeply offended by the opening rant.
I like the wily mosquitoes myself. That had me chuckling in the background. How's everybody doing today? Mashup 174 coming in hot today. Man, we got a full week here. A full week. We got some interesting things in the community notes coming up. We'll leave you in suspense till we get to the end of it, but you're going to want to stick around and hear some things happen. Twos let it squeak last week. I mean, Twos just doesn't know how to hold on to a good secret, but we're going to wait until the community notes.
I think it's just that I didn't want to hold on to a good secret.
Sure. Okay, before we get rolling, if you like the show, folks, okay, make sure you hit the retweet button. YouTube has now suspended me.
Hit the retweet button with reasonable force.
YouTube's now removed me Twos from uploading anything new. I think it's till October 18th. I think it was the date I saw. They went back in the they went back to a Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Murray interview now, and they've deemed that as misinformation, disinformation. I think that, anyways, it doesn't matter. So if you're looking for my YouTube channel, if you're one of the thousands of people subscribed to that, head over to the Mashup YouTube channel. We don't seem to get removed for this show, but everything else I do.
Nobody watches it.
Yeah, you got to get over there, subscribe to it, hit the little alert button so you know when we're coming on. Either way, if you're enjoying the show, hit the retweet button right now, folks. We'd appreciate it. Airborne Friday. Happy Airborne Friday, all military vets out there. That's coming up in the community notes. Jamie Sinclair is going to be a part of.
Jamie Sinclair and Chuck Prodnick are both confirmed for the MASH spiel.
And he's already, okay, sure. The MASH spiel, is that what we're calling it?
Well, I don't know. I was talking with QDM about it the other day because I wanted to see if he wanted to come. And he's like, "Oh, is that what you're calling it?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just literally as I was
the MASH
talking,
spiel.
I called it.
All right. Okay. Well, we got some fun things coming later in the show. But how will we get into this?
29th.
It's November 29th. Okay. November 29th, Kalmar, Alberta, near Leduc.
Let people leave a little bit to the imagination for the end.
Sure, Twos. I'm going to leave it. We'll talk about it at the end. But Twos,
right, if you got any other community notes, let us know.
Here's your thing. Here's your chance. Put it in the comments. Okay, let's start with Coot 6.5. This is I tell you what, this is going to take some time. Okay. First, okay, I'm just going to rattle off the first story. Twos, you hop in whenever you feel. The Penticton man whom, I don't know, are you
Well,
humming? Are you
I'm
humming him? Do you already want to hop in?
not
I haven't
you,
even.
but just the state of things in this country. Like,
Okay.
jump in whenever I want to. I don't want to have to jump in for any of this. I don't want to be fucking talking about it.
Well, the Penticton man who murdered his Sanic friend's tenant in September 2021 has been found not criminally guilty. How about we start there? Scott Matheson was on a sleepless 8-day meth bender in active schizophrenic psychosis when he brutally beat up a man he'd just met, determined a BC Supreme Court justice. So there's that.
Yes,
There's
not criminally responsible. So that's all you got to do. Just get high on meth for 8 straight days. And that's it.
Welland girl, 3-year-old, sexually assaulted in her home, barely talking after ordeal. Niagara Regional Police have said a man broke into a residence in eastern Welland sometime after 10 p.m. Saturday and sexually assaulted a young girl while the family slept. Police were called just before 9 a.m. Sunday and found the front door forced open. Further observation confirmed the involved child was suffering from serious injuries, prompting an immediate criminal investigation. Daniel Seneca, 25, is facing numerous charges, including aggravated sexual assault of a minor, choking, breaking, and entering, and sexual interference.
Just so we're clear, though, when we're discussing this Daniel Seneca person, we need to make sure that we respect the pronouns, which are she, her. Daniel Seneca raped this toddler, and she raped the toddler with her penis. Please continue.
And I don't know, man. I don't even know how much. Okay, in 2021, he was charged. Daniel Seneca, whatever, was charged with. Yes, was charged with sexual assault of a minor, sexual interference of a minor, and choking. He was sentenced to 18 months in jail.
She was sentenced to 18 months in jail.
Yeah, he was previously convicted.
She was previously convicted.
Stop it. Was sexually assaulting a boy, 12, in September 2021 in a home near the one where Saturdays. I can't even believe the alleged assault took place. Dear me.
Alleged? We're going to do this again.
Everybody could see the picture. What more do you want me to put in here? I'm waiting for a Tuesday rant. Honestly, I'm disgusted.
Dude, there's no Tuesday rant about this. There's no Tuesday rant about this shit this week. It's insane. Let's rapid fire off all of the news this week in break and enters and rapes and murders and arsons.
On the screen, though, that's she, her, Daniel Seneca right there. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then 2 dead, including suspect, and multiple injuries after stabbing incident in Manitoba. 2 people are dead, including the suspect, and multiple people are injured after a mass stabbing incident in Hollow Water First Nations, 2 hours northeast of Winnipeg. RCMP say they received a report before 4 a.m. of an assault in a community. Officers responded to and found multiple people suffering from stab wounds. 8 community members ranging from 18 to 60 were injured. An 18-year-old woman died from her injuries. 26-year-old Tyrone Simard took off in a stolen vehicle after the stabbings. And just before 7 a.m., the suspect was involved with a crash with a police vehicle on Provincial Road 304. The suspect died in the collision while the female officer involved was taken to hospital with critical but non-life-threatening injuries. And then it went on to say RCMP say the suspect was known to police before Thursday's incident. You got multiple charges laid in Markham, home invasion and shooting.
Let's just cover this.
You just said rattle them off, and now you're
okay,
gonna.
Yeah,
okay, fine,
yeah.
fine.
And you didn't rattle, and now I'm not gonna rattle. So don't be so rattled. I just want to point out that the one female officer involved got in a car crash. Please continue.
Multiple charges laid in Markham, home invasion, shooting, and kidnapping. Multiple suspects breaking into a residence. Once inside, the suspects indicated to the family that another one of their family members had been kidnapped by the other suspects. During the incident, a 54-year-old man was shot. A 12-year-old boy has been charged with attempted murder after a man was shot in Markham last month. He is facing charges of attempted murder, discharged firearm with intent and possession of property obtained by crime and others. Where do you want me to go here?
Fatal
I'm
arson
just
on Richmond Hill is the next one, I think.
a fatal York Regional Police Homicide Unit are appealing for witnesses after Richmond Hill arson left one person dead and 4 in critical condition. Do you want to show the video of the police chief, Jim McSween?
Oh, yeah, this is great. This is just fucking wonderful.
And make his own statement and his own mind up about that. What I would say is, as a police service, we'll follow the laws as they're written. If the laws change, we'll change with the laws. But as it stands, we know the best defense for most
More
people
ums
is to
than a
comply,
Trudeau.
as you've just heard, a number of
Sorry,
safety
let me
recommendations.
just-
You talking over?
As you've just.
Sorry, that was my bad. That was my bad. This is really important.
But as it stands, we know the best defense for most people is to comply, as you've just heard, a number of safety recommendations.
That's, yeah. The best defense is to comply. We've
Like in
got-
the last 10 days, we've had the guy allegedly have someone break into his house and then fight him off with a kitchen knife.
Yep.
We've
And
had
that dude
a
had a crossbow.
3-year-old
A 3-year-old
sexually assaulted.
that doesn't even do it justice.
I know.
Yeah, the 3-year-old
And then you come out as a
complied.
police
How
chief?
did that go for him?
Yeah.
Comply? Here's the thing. All right, so you brought up that guy with the kitchen knife, and now he's facing charges. The only way that all this fucking shit is going to go away as far as home defense goes is if he goes into that, because, like we had that article with Tristan Hopper talking about how basically your life's on hold for years. You've got 6 figures worth of legal bills, and then at the end you'll get acquitted because it's the process that's the punishment. Go in there, don't spend $1. You go in there, say, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, this is fucking retarded. I will not be engaging with any of you. Let me know if and when I'm going to jail. And then you sit down and you open a book and you start reading it. And you just let them, they can do their thing. And that's it. That's the only way that this entire process gets stopped on that end. And let's be honest, the only way it's going to get stopped on this end, unless something unforeseen happens, is if there's more guys with kitchen knives attacking the guys with the crossbows.
We didn't even. Here's some honorable mentions from the week. Repeat offender attacked a transit police officer. 2 men facing firearm and extortion charge following daytime shooting, and 80 shots fired in the Hamilton shootout. So
that's just this week.
I was
just
saying
this week. The only thing outside of this week is when we recap the knife and the crossbow guy. That's
correct.
This is this week. This is this week. And we have, where did it go? Sean Fraser, Liberal MP, Minister of Safety now, I want to say, or some stupid fucking thing. What's his? Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada. When Poilievre was talking, like at the start of this week, about how this shit has gotten out of hand, he said, this isn't the Wild West, it's Canada. Canadians deserve real solutions that make us feel safer, not slogans that inspire fear and chaos for Pierre's political survival. That has aged about as well as Miley Cyrus.
I was saying to Twos before we started today that we've been covering the Coot 6.5 now for, I don't even know. Is it a year now, Twos? It's
Sure.
got to be close, somewhere in that ballpark. And we've been just pointing out how messed up the judicial system is, right? And how like heinous crimes are just not slowing down. They're picking up and up and up. And
that the punishments doled out for those pale in significance to those that the Coots guys got, and that Tamara Litch and Chris Barber are looking down the barrel of too.
And it's just it's picking up speed. Like the amount of stories coming out is just, it's horrific, man. It just sucks. It just sucks. Here's I just wanted to show this too. Here's the home invasion. There's the 2 suspects there. I think it's important every time they're going to release what these people look like. You know, we showed the she her dude, and now here's the Markham home invasion guys.
The one guy's got a
Anyways,
Greta Thunberg haircut.
oof. Anyways, okay. Canada must reinvent its economy like it did in 1945. Finance minister says the time has come for Canada to reinvent its economy like it did in 1945. Francois Philippe Champagne said on Thursday, I often make an analogy between 2025 and 1945. In 1945, Canada had to reinvent itself, and I think this is one of those moments. We have done it before. Look at 1945. Canada turned completely to be this great industrial nation. We're going to build on that. We're going to look at new technology such as AI, he said. The federal government has been growing spending as a whole at over 7% a year on average for over a decade. That's twice the rate of the growth of the economy on average. It's
That's not something to
sustainable.
brag
It's a
about.
situation. We need to rein in spending. Carney's the second one. Champagne's the first two quotes.
It's insane. You know what? If you want to compare it to 1945, if you want to compare Canada to 1945, you need to use the word Hiroshima. Everything we've been doing has been ass backwards for at least the past decade. At least. You want to reinvent the economy? Here's what you do. You slash the fuck out of the public sector. You get rid of union protectionism. You get rid of the dairy cartel. You get rid of the nicotine pouch cartel, the telecommunications cartel, the grocery cartel, the fucking media cartel. Maybe just no more cartels. There, you could reinvent the economy. Maybe you just make it so that people who want to work can work.
It's a novel idea, Tews. I don't know.
Quit fucking up. How about that? Just every time you think you need to jump in and do something, know that you're going to make it worse. You are going to make it worse. So do as little as possible. Isn't it phenomenal that these guys haven't had to sit in Parliament for like 8 fucking months? You haven't had to show up to your job for 8 months, and it's still getting this much worse.
Carney says no to scrapping temporary foreign workers program, but program must change. Old rules used to state that if the local unemployment rate was over 6%, you couldn't get a labor market impact assessment to bring in foreign workers. The Liberals removed that requirement in 2022, and now with unemployment at 6.9% nationally, 7.8 in Alberta, and 7.9 in Ontario, the government is still allowing temporary foreign workers to come in. The changes the Liberals introduced in April 22 also allowed companies to raise the percentage of foreign workers they were using to increase from 10% to 20%, in some cases 30% of their workforce. In the first half of this year alone, the TFW program has imported 74% more low-skilled labor than in all of 2015. When I talk to businesses around the country, their number one issue is, this is Carney, their number one issue is tariffs, and their number two issue is access to temporary foreign workers, Carney told reporters.
It's getting a little bit fucking much. It's getting a little bit too much. And when I say that, I mean it's completely gone off the rails. Nobody could fairly and objectively look at this and say that it's a good thing. The crazy part is that all these jobs are listed as like $36 to $40 an hour. You want to go work at Dairy Queen, $36 to $40 an hour. Ito, the Japanese fast food restaurant, 36 and change an hour. Pretty much anybody, especially somebody who's unemployed, would take a $70,000 a year job working 40 hours a week at fast food.
It's pretty crazy. That's
not a McJob. That's not a McJob. Think about it. Like the median income in this country is what? Maybe in the 50s, maybe in the 60s.
Tews, when you first started working, do you remember what your wage was? What you got paid per hour?
I was working for, my parents had a company and I worked for them for $2.50 an hour when I was basically little more than a toddler. But my first official job was 6 and change. Well, actually, sorry, that's not true. 7 on the nose when I was working at the Willows, and then I was stocking shelves, and it was like in the high 6s, but I got that job a few months later, but you got subsequent raises after that.
Pretty sure my first official job was sandpiper, being a swamper in the oil field, and I got $10 an hour, and I was over the moon.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
like I was now it's like $36.
Well, I
Oh
remember when I
man.
first moved to Lloyd, so I started working for a rig company there, and they're like, "Yeah, so we'll have you just working in the shop, clean up, help somebody out if they need it, whatever else. Just stay busy." Um, and the shop work is only $12 an hour. But you'll get more, once you actually start working on a rig. And I was like, "You're gonna pay me $12 an hour to work in the shop?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, how many hours can you work?" And they said, "As many as you want." And I was
So-
like,
Sign me up. Well, 36. That's yeah. Do you want to show the dog whistle of racism video?
yeah. Believe it or not, our mainstream media are a bunch of buffoons.
To be quite frank and honest, we are the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre and MP Rempel are treading a very dangerous line of what I'm going to call a dog whistle of racism. Because if you want to have a conversation about the fact that we have an issue with immigration, we do, not because they're immigrants and they're coming in and taking away. It's because our society and our system hasn't kept up. We don't have enough housing. We don't have enough resource put in place to help everybody. So let's have that conversation. But to say it's foreign workers that are taking away jobs from Canadians and the solution is youth, to me is simplistic. It's like
They are taking jobs away from youth. And the left doesn't ever think about ripple effects. They don't ever think about long-term consequences. And it's one of the many things that differentiates them as economic and intellectual buffoons. Because here's the thing, is we've got an entire generation of young people that can't get fucking jobs, which is the first rung on the ladder. You get a job working in the back shop, or you get a job swamping or whatever. And it just teaches you to show up on time, take a little bit of direction, show a little bit of initiative. It kind of builds these habits. And then you take that and you move into something that's a little bit more lucrative and a little bit more lucrative. But if you can't get on the first rung on that ladder, you cannot ascend that ladder. And so 5 or 10 years from now, we are going to have a whole bunch of working age men and women with no fucking skills required to be successful in any industry. Like, I get the fact that the temporary foreign worker program is wreaking havoc on the economy, and that you've got something that the UN is calling out Canada and saying it's basically just slavery with extra steps. Like, literally, the UN is calling out Canada for the temporary foreign worker program and how it's just modern slavery. And we all love the UN, but 5 or 10 years down the road from now, the effects that are going on, the effects that are going to be caused by what's happening today are going to be very widespread and very profound and in no way good.
Pierre Poilievre calls on Liberals to scrap the temporary foreign worker program. He's quoted, "The Liberals have to answer why is it that they're shutting out our youth, our own youth out of jobs and replacing them with low-wage temporary foreign workers from poor countries who are ultimately being exploited. We want Canadian workers to have Canadian jobs. We want to bring back high wages." Globe and Mail wrote a story on Pierre's comments, basically saying Mr. Poilievre's statement said that 105,000 new temporary foreign workers are coming in the first half of 2025, when the government had set a target of 82,000 new arrivals, but 105,000 figure included work permits renewals, immigration.
Sorry, go ahead.
Immigration, Refugees, Citizenship Canada reported there was 33,722 new arrivals.
I just want to point out the headline. There is no flood of newcomers anymore, Mr. Poilievre. This is the same argument they used during the lockdowns when they said, well, you can't rule if they're unconstitutional or not because they're not happening anymore. Like, are we going to charge any of those people we just spent 20 minutes talking about because they're not currently engaging in the illegal activity? I mean, some of them are out on bail, so maybe they are right now. But if and when they get their day in court, they're going to say, Your Honor, I am not currently sodomizing a toddler. I should not go to jail for this. And
You have the old tweet that surfaced from Trudeau back from 2014 saying temporary foreign worker program lowers Canadian wages and exploits vulnerable people. It needs to be fixed.
yeah,
And
isn't it funny when old tweets like that come back and bite them in the ass? Like my favorite one from him is that one where he's like, it's hard to take a government seriously when every week there's a new scandal. And that was basically the defining
thing of Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, that was his shtick.
Yes. And do you want to show Ebby? Ebby talking about foreign workers.
So, I mean, we all know the NDP is not a serious party, but we've actually got one of them saying something that isn't straight up fucking retarded.
About a severe restriction of numbers, and we're talking about a complete shutdown of the program. Can you be more specific as to your exact ask for the federal government? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, as we face these economic headwinds, there should be one priority for government. It is making sure that Canadians are protected and looked after, and in particular, that young people have a strong economic future in our country. The temporary foreign worker program is not working. It should be canceled or significantly reformed. Here in Surrey, we see the sale of temporary labor market assessments, temporary foreign worker labor market assessments. Here in British Columbia, we see unacceptably high level of unemployment.
You've got David Eby, the NDP Premier of British Columbia, on the same page as Pierre Poilievre. Both pretty late to the party, but at least they finally made it.
Dawn Farrell has been chosen as Canada's new major projects head of new major projects office. Sorry, said that wrong.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. You know how much she's getting paid?
No, I don't.
Between $579 and $675 a year, depending on bonuses. So we took a program that just this is the government cutting a hole in the boat somewhere else to patch another hole, and then they've got to cut another hole to patch the other hole. This is literally that. This new projects thing in Calgary. Oh, we're gonna do it in Calgary because we want to show Albertans that they feel represented. So we are going to get a fucking bureaucrat and pay them $679,000 a year because we want to show you that what you care matters to us. I don't want someone getting paid $679,000 a year to add extra layers of bureaucracy to something that should just be mostly deregulated in the fucking first place.
I found this tweet interesting. The Prime Minister is pleased to announce the appointment of Dawn Farrell to spearhead this mission as the Chief Executive Officer of the Major Projects Office. Ms. Farrell brings 4 decades of experience in Canada's energy sector, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody highlighted, Power Utility Transcorp thoroughly investigated other options before signing a $750 million investment deal with Brookfield Renewable Partners.
Oh, funny how that goes.
You don't say. You don't say, Toos. You know,
this is like Brookfield Hathaway has become the new We Charity.
You know, there's like conflict of interest. My son's trying out for U11 AA. Okay.
Okay.
You know my background in hockey. Am I allowed to evaluate those tryouts? No. The answer is no, because it's conflict, because my son's in. Is my oldest brother, who has no children anymore, allowed to, or so no children in minor hockey, allowed to go in and evaluate? He's coached like a ton.
Sean.
Sorry. The answer is no, because it's a conflict of interest. You look at government, and I'm like, we can't evaluate U11 kids because of conflict of interest. But right there's millions upon millions upon millions, not to mention 500 and whatever you said.
And that's just for her. That's not for the whole office. That is not the administrative cost that the companies hoping to do business are going to incur by navigating their red tape. It's insane. By the way, I just want to point out the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses is coming out defending the temporary foreign worker program. And that's fucking stupid.
Beer store shutters, more locations closing in on government-imposed cap. Another 6 beer store locations are set to shut in Ontario by early November as the alcohol giant continues to announce a steady wave of closures across the province. The most recent round of closures meant the company, which is owned by Sleeman, Molson, and Labatt, can't shutter more stores without violating its $225 million deal with the Ford government. Strings attached to the funding means the beer store must keep at least 300 locations open until the end of 2025, at which point it can close as many as it sees fit. Since the funding was announced, the beer store has announced a steady stream of closures to the 438 stores it had when the government liberalized alcohol sales between May 2024 and late June 2025. The alcohol retailer closed more than 70 locations. Since then, another 39 closures have been announced. The total of 113 shuttered or planned shuttered stores means the company can only announce the closure of another 25 locations before the end of the year without violating the agreement. And they have been quoted saying, "We won't go below 300. No shit, Sherlock." They're getting
$225 million.
$225 million to ensure they don't go below 300 stores.
Yeah. So they had a monopoly, and rather than just be grateful for the monopoly that they had for as long as they did, say, hey, you know what? You set up a situation where we were able to squeeze the consumers for more money than they would have otherwise given us under less than ideal conditions. And we thank you for it for as long as it happened. And now we're going to part ways. They're like, no. You need to give us $250 million on our way out. And the government's like, yes, okay. Like you can't even do this. This is deregulation. This is them saying we need to open this up and make it fair for consumers and for small businesses. And in order to do that, we are going to give some of the richest people in the history of this country another $250 million.
Toronto condo market is in free fall. Federal housing minister says the Toronto condo market is now in a free fall. Quoted Federal Minister of Housing and Infrastructure, Gregor Robertson. There's far too much condo product in both Toronto and Vancouver. That type of housing was overbuilt in recent years, and it's not selling in today's market, Robertson said following a tour of Oak House, a new yet-to-be-completed University of Toronto residence.
Good. The fewer people that want to live in Toronto, the better.
Quebec declares Northvolt battery plant partnership dead, loses $270 million investment. I don't know. Do you need me to go on about this? Or would you like me to? There's things in there, but they've lost $270 million. That's
who could have seen this coming? This economic free fall in the EV industry, it's just absolutely catastrophic. And by far the worst part of it is just how incredibly unexpected the whole thing has been for everybody involved, all the way from the executives who were only able to get a little bit rich to it, to the taxpayers who wrongly and racistly question the validity of these unasked for bailouts.
Northvolt declared bankruptcy in Sweden in March, if anyone cares. Anyways,
yep.
They
Okay, get to the one from the energy mix. This one's gonna be awesome.
The energy mix?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Canceling Canada's EV mandate would mean 11,000 extra deaths. Keeping it delivers millions of dollars to Musk. This whole article is like that meme where the guy's looking at the two buttons, but it's from a leftist retarded perspective. They're like, well, because here's the thing is that they actually buy into their own bullshit. Canada's EV mandate will prevent 11,000 premature deaths, according to this, which is one of those disprovable things. How? Well, I mean, if we do it, we say, oh, we saved 11,000 deaths. And if we don't do it, we say that 11,000 random people would have lived longer had this not happened. They're like, but on the other hand, Elon Musk is going to get rich if we do this. And I don't know if you know this about these kind of people or not, but they're retarded. It's silly. Anyway. And then also, I thought it was in here, but maybe it's not. Oh, yes. Carney may be announcing later today that
Yes,
they're
he's been
gonna end
huddled
the
at a
EV.
hotel just north of Toronto for the last 2 days in the lead up of Friday's announcement, today's announcement. Carney revealed he has spoken with U.S. President Donald Trump Monday night, but cautioned Canadians not to expect white smoke to signal the end of punishing sector-specific tariffs on steel, aluminum, copper, and autos. Much of the cabinet agenda this week has been focused on the economy, which contracted by 1.6% in the second quarter of the year. The EV mandates, along with other policies like clean fuel regulation, are key pieces of previous government climate policy. They've also been targets of conservatives and industry critiques of the federal Liberals' economic policy. Other policies that have been criticized that negatively impacting Canada's competitiveness, particularly in the energy sector, include the emissions cap on oil and gas and what's known as Bill C-69. So there's supposedly an announcement coming today, Twos, as you pointed out. We'll wait and see what actually happens.
Now, if he actually does do some of this stuff, keep in mind that this is stuff that he had not campaigned on, but Poilievre had. And so all of these times that Carney is doing things that Poilievre said he would do, or even slightly more, which, by the way, given the current state of things, shows you how much of a half measure the promises were. But why the Conservative Party isn't just doing a victory lap every time it happened? Like, think about how whenever the Liberals would bring in an NDP policy in exchange for the coalition government, they'd be like, oh, yeah, we're bringing in dental care. And then the NDP would jump in and be like, we are bringing in dental care. And Poilievre saying, hey, we need to get rid of this stupid law. And then Mark Carney says, we are getting rid of this stupid law. That is the point for Poilievre to point out, hey, you know what? I appreciate the fact that you're taking my advice. I wish it wasn't for free. And if you guys could send like a gift basket or something the next time you institute one of our policy planks, we'll call it good.
Well, it isn't for free. I mean, Pierre's getting paid a boatload of money too.
Yes,
right.
But the point
he's
is,
official opposition. His whole
Yes.
purpose of being in there is to advocate for the betterment of Canada. So he's not getting it for free.
I take your point, but forest and trees, motherfucker.
Sure. I'm not going to sit here and go that any politician is giving things away for free.
No, but he's giving things. The Liberals have a whole bunch of people that they pay a whole lot of money to come up with fancy ideas.
And he's just taking Pierre.
And one of them was like, what if we just did all the shit that guy says?
It's true. He's still
and
getting
in
paid
that
a boatload
sense,
of money
for free.
Happy Friday, folks. Mashup 174. I've made Twos annoyed today.
I'm basically Jean-Luc Picard right now.
Mm-hmm. Video. Okay, let's go into rapid fire. Video shows moments after Trump ordered strike on alleged drug smugglers' boat that killed 11. Tuesday's going to play the video. The U.S. military killed 11 people on Tuesday in a strike on a vessel from Venezuela, allegedly carrying illegal narcotics. U.S. President Donald Trump said in the first known operation since his administration's recent deployment of warships in the Southern Caribbean. Quoted, we just over the last few minutes literally shot up. Tuesday, do you want to read it? I feel like you could do a great impersonation.
No. I want to hear your impersonation.
No, I can't do it. We just over the last few minutes literally shot out a boat, a drug carrying boat. A lot of drugs in the boat. Trump told
a lot of drugs in the boat.
A lot of drugs. A lot of drugs.
A lot of real high fish coming in. I talked to a dolphin. He said it was the best drugs he'd ever had. He said he was tripping buoys. Buoys.
This is why we're all here, aren't we, folks? I mean, you look at the world and you just like, it can't get any worse. It can't go any more insane. And it just ups it every mashup. You got to laugh at it sometimes.
It would be happening whether we were doing it or not.
True. Taxpayers bought 550 McDonald's burgers for catered City of Richmond holiday event. Richmond City holiday staff party in December cost taxpayers $119,000. In addition to buying alcohol, taxpayers spent $80,000 on catering. And buried within the 4,400 pages of documents, Global News reviewed was the acknowledgement that although the amount of food provided by the caterer was sufficient, McDonald's cheeseburgers and junior chicken burgers were provided towards the end of the event so that staff could grab as they exited the event. They bought 275 junior chicken burgers and 275 cheeseburgers. $1,800 order from McDonald's.
Yeah, they ordered it 3 days ahead of time. Did you notice the quote afterwards?
No.
Okay, here's the quote. Who does Mayor Brody think he is? Mayor McCheese? Said Canadian Taxpayers Federation BC Director Karen Binda in reference to the McDonald's character. Now, if anybody from Global is watching or listening right now, I would like to point out that his name is Carson. Carson Binda.
Spelling. He's a
We
beauty.
subsidize these. And the Canadian Taxpayer Federation speaks out against subsidized media. And as a result, they get their name spelled wrong in news articles. It's information warfare.
You're focusing on the spelling. I'm focusing on the fact they bought a crazy amount of McDonald's. Okay. John Carpe has been disbarred by the Law Society of Alberta. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I keep asking this question. Tuesday, does anybody know this answer? So he was
Why?
well, he had a judge tailed, right, by a private investigator. That's the reason why. Right?
So, is that illegal?
That's what I'm asking. Is it illegal? Or is a judge not allowed to be investigated?
Unless that private investigator is breaking into his fucking house, I would say that would be fine. And the judge can just defend himself with reasonable force if that ever happens anyway.
He also got ordered Mr. Carpe to pay costs in the amount of $7,400. $7,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Me and Ken were talking about this. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it? You know, you can sit there and go, oh, maybe he was out of line having a judge fault. I don't know. I keep asking a question. Is it illegal to do it? If it is, okay. But I'm like, why is it that everything that comes out of the COVID era is always against the good guys? The JCCF has been defending, kind of like the Democracy Fund, all the people who are fighting the government. And what are they doing? They're like knocking them out one by one, right? So you don't see a judge or a political figure getting fined, getting removed from their job. It's always the good team. So once again, John Carpe, just had him on the podcast for Pete's sake, now disbarred by Alberta. Here's a wild one. 6 candidates for Germany's AFD party, as they put in the headline, far-right AFD party, die in lead up to the election. And police have said there's no suggestion of foul play at hand in the details. Or in the death, sorry.
Yeah.
No foul play. 6 people just done. All natural causes, I bet.
Despite the police ruling out suspicious circumstances, retired economist Stefan Homburg, so probably German, claimed in a post on X that the number of candidates' deaths was statistically almost impossible. Like, one of our early mashups was covering a guy who committed suicide by tying himself to a tree in the middle of the woods, shooting him in the chest, shooting himself in the chest, and there was no weapon found. I feel like this is probably the same kind of thing. If you run into an asshole first thing in the morning, you ran into an asshole. If you run into assholes all day long, you're the asshole. And here's the thing. If one of your guys dies leading up to an election, one of your guys dies. If all of them die, it's probably the competition.
Sask RCMP released Queen of Canada suspects arrested at conspiracy compound and rearrest 2. RCMP have released 16 people, but arrested 2 after searching a compound in southwestern Saskatchewan that housed Romana Diddleu, the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada.
So yeah, if I remember correctly, it was like a little bit south of Maple Creek. But yeah, she had this She kind of just took over one of the old. There's a lot of old abandoned schools in Saskatchewan, as you know, communities kind of merge their schooling and everything like that. And she had a group of people. I don't know if we could say cult or not. I'm not sure what the deal is. Because here's the thing: is that
She has Kingdom of Canada followers too. So I think anytime you put those things together, I think we can use cult, can't we? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: is I haven't really seen any coverage.
They're living
of
in
this
they're living in an abandoned school.
My hometown has an abandoned school that a family bought and moved into. And
Yeah, but
I have
do they
spent
have
the rest
followers?
of my life ever since then jealous as fuck. Okay,
Do we
so
call a
look,
family a cult? I don't think so. This feels a little more cultish.
it might be, but here's the point: is that benefit of the doubt is that I have not seen this covered by anybody that I trust. The only people I've seen covering this are people I definitively do not fucking trust.
So what you're saying is we need to get the Queen of Canada on.
Yes, we need to, Ben, we need to have the Queen of Canada on the podcast to clear things up. And maybe she's crazier than a bag of cats. Or maybe
Possible.
this is just a big fucking smear. Like, look at the Fifth Estate coverage of the Freedom Convoy.
Okay. Let's see if we can't get the Queen of Canada on the mashup. Show of hands out there. I can't see you. Who wants to see the Queen of Canada on the mashup? 175.
When have you ever heard a podcast with a cult leader before? Even if she is a cult leader.
You can't say she's a cult leader. We don't know that yet, Toos. You're just arguing that maybe it isn't a cult. So you can't call her that. We're just going to call her the Queen of Canada and maybe some of her followers. Well, come on.
You know what? I recognize her sovereignty over Canada just as much as I recognize Mark Carney's.
Drivers. Okay. This is something else we've been, the crime and everything we've been covering. Now it's the driver's story. Okay. So here is the White Mud Drive overpass at Anthony Henday has been struck here. There you go. Okay. Semi hauling a big backhoe by the looks of it. Traco. And
just big excavator.
Bingo. Bang. There you go. Okay. You want to show the couple of videos we got of different drivers? I assume you do.
I mean, we could. This one I could just show you. You see it all in just a still, but this is the airport in Vancouver. Jim says she's fucking crazy. Maybe. You know what? If she is, it should be very entertaining.
Murray Henderson says, no thanks. I've seen enough of her through the years.
Hey, you know what? If she is crazy, I think that would be really fun. We should try and have some actual crazy people on here more often. But if she's not, one way or the other, we get to the bottom of it. Carrie Jepson says, do it. Kevin says, I would like to hear from Her Majesty, the Queen of Canada. Fuck, I love that guy. And Zane,
I love all of our
agreeing with me.
listeners. All of you are wonderful people. This is great. Okay, carry on. Let's show us some videos. Like how does this? Okay, you're gonna show this one first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
No
one.
sound, but yeah. I don't think you can just rub a little dirt on that one, Sean.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's gonna buff out.
Can you show the video of the van on the? I'm like, I don't even understand how this happens. Like, how
of the van?
How does this happen? Yeah, how does this happen?
What do you mean? How does this happen? You see,
this is at the Vancouver.
The tires, the carriage sits higher than the tires do, and as it goes over,
thank you, Tews. Yes,
it gets hung up on the high point of the stairs where one or more of the tires are no longer
asking
touching
a
the
more
ground.
in-depth question, that's maybe a little over your head. Of like, how on earth does a van even get to the point of the staircase? Like, where did it go to get here?
Well, I'm guessing it took the escalator first.
Show the video, you jackass. This is at the Vancouver.
Like, I just want
Man's
to get
driving
back
up.
to
It's
it.
like, what is going on?
I want to get back to a simpler time in Canada when the biggest things that we had to deal with in terms of bad drivers were 15-year-old kids with their learner's license and women doing their makeup. Did I? I just saw it this morning.
Man.
I just saw it this morning, but there's one of a car like hanging over the edge of a car park in Mississauga. This was actually supposed to be in the economy. The one you're bringing up here.
Okay. Well, here, Crown Royal. The decision by I'm gonna put this up first. Okay. Here you go. This has become quite the photo. The decision by major alcohol distributor Diageo to shutter its Amherstburg Crown Royal bottling plant has ignited calls for Ontario to pull the brand from LCBO shelves. After talks with the community members and union leaders, Lisa Gretzky, NDP MPP for Windsor West, is calling on the government to pull the whiskey brand. Quoted, "We're not going to stand by and let you just try and squeeze a little more money out of those wealthy shareholders at the risk of 200 people in our community. We will take the step of pulling Crown Royal off the shelves at the LCBO," Gretzky told CTV News. And of course, I think everybody saw the press conference where Doug Ford is trying to get rid of all the crown. You know, when you travel, how like revered Crown Royal is. Like,
but incredibly, I don't know. It gives me heartburn. So I've never been a big fan of it.
Well, I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of it. I'm just saying, like, when I traveled in and played hockey in the States, Americans enjoy the Crown Royal.
Keep talking.
They enjoy the Crown Royal. Like this,
on for like 3 minutes. We've got time to. We've got.
Can you believe this is a press conference?
Like, you gotta pop that little plastic thing out, you fucking idiot. So Crown Royal is made in Gimli, Manitoba, like literally on the shores of Lake Winnipeg. It's made with Canadian grain. And then, until recently, it's been bottled in Ontario, but they're going to move it to the States. Now, it makes sense to have the processing facility in Gimli. It's already set up there. And in terms of logistics, you've got a lot more transportation of grain than you do of the finished product. But at the same time, it's become economically unviable to have unionized jobs with expensive green energy subsidy bullshit in Ontario to do this when it can just be done simpler.
The video is still going.
It's only half over, Sean, in the States. And so here's the thing is, rather than say, hey, you know what? We appreciate the fact that you guys were here for so long, and it sucks that you're going. We hope you'll reconsider. See, there's no gratitude at all. It's all fucking entitlement. And this is the guy who, by a very wide margin, according to the last ballot, represents the thoughts and perspectives of people in Ontario. See, because businesses, yeah, sure, they'll make a few dumb mistakes every once in a while, like when Shaw paid a few $1 billion for cable TV exclusivity right before streaming took off, or how Blockbuster decided to not buy Netflix for fucking pennies, or the Edmonton Elk, or Bud Light. There's going to be companies that make bad decisions, but at the end of the day, this is a decision that's made by would have been something that was made by the board. This is a group of people with a vested interest in looking at the pros and cons and how they can do the same thing for much less money out of pocket in different jurisdictions. So Ontario doesn't make economic sense for businesses. And so rather than just say, hey, you know what? We had a good run. It sucks that you're leaving. I get it. You guys made this decision because we are not good enough for you anymore.
You think there was? I'm reading Dune right now, and
because we were talking about it last week.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Probably. Anyways, I'm
like
reading.
We literally talked about it last week, and now you're reading it, and it's probably related.
Sure, Tooze. You know what?
Allegedly,
it's your idea. It's another one of Tooze's ideas. Anyways, in the start of the story, they're talking about beggars coming for scraps of water off the washing. They wash your hands and everything, and then they sell it to the beggars. I watched that video. I'm like, you think there's like just like a homeless dude or two just sitting there going, okay, when everybody leaves, we're running to that spot. They just dumped a full bottle of Crown Royal on the ground. We're getting some of that.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't a Mickey either.
No, no. Like, I mean, anyways, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
But
Okay.
I just want to point out just the fact that you've got this sense of entitlement. Like you are somehow morally obligated to fucking continue funding these group of people who are doing the job for way too much money, more than the going rate, and we are going to try and punish you rather than say, hey, thanks for supporting us as long as you did.
Can we talk about things that we want to talk about? How about another heist, Twos? Another heist. Okay. 14 arrested in the largest Home Depot theft ring ever. Authorities in Southern California.
3.7 million US in stolen goods.
The suspects are allegedly linked to 600 thefts at 71 different Home Depots, with losses exceeding 10 million across multiple Southern California counties. Police say David All, who ran a storefront called Aria Wholesale in Tarzana, was at a center of the operation. All faced 48 felony counts, including conspiracy, organized retail theft, grand theft, receiving stolen property, and money laundering, authorities says. Ventura County Sheriff Jim Friel said Al's boosters would systematically steal expensive electronic components like breakers, dimmers, and switches, sometimes hitting every Home Depot in Ventura County in a single day. The stolen goods were then allegedly delivered to Al's business or home in trash bags or Home Depot boxes. During searches, investigators seized an estimated $3.7 million in Home Depot property and $800,000 what they described as dirty money from alleged money laundering operations. They'd steal it and then sell it through a different organization.
Okay, first off, I can't believe that anybody in their right mind would buy a used breaker. Secondly, have you seen how expensive they are? And I get the fact that I'm contradicting myself because, look, if you're unwilling to buy a used one, obviously you're okay with paying the price that they are at the store. I'm just saying I get why people steal them.
At some point when you're doing that, don't you like, you know, like it's kind of like you get into the drug business, right? All the movies, and then you get so deep you can't get out. I'm like reading that story. I'm like, why didn't you just get out? Like after you've got $1 million worth of stolen stuff and you've sold it all, you got $800,000 sitting there in cash. Don't you just go, yeah, maybe we should stop. Like maybe we've got enough.
But it's the rush. Remember when Winona Ryder was getting arrested for shoplifting?
Mm-hmm.
She's got millions of dollars. At the time, she was a wildly successful actress. I think it was like right before Scanner Darkly came out. Criminally underrated movie, by the way. And so she's got bazillions of dollars, and she's stealing candy bars. It's the rush. It's the rush.
There's 1 million in gold hidden somewhere in Canada, and here's how to find it. This is a headline. The Northern Miner, the Great Canadian Treasure Hunt, is cross-country contest pitting Canadians' deductive skills against the holy grail of geographical guessing games, a weatherproof case with a code redeemable for 1 million in gold.
Yeah, so it's not even... This is disappointing. If you're going to bury... Like, if you're going to do a search to find one of those giant gold coins... I don't know. Have you ever seen them before? They're huge. I saw one at the Mint a while back. Apparently somebody else bought one and turned it into a coffee table, which is a pretty big flex. But like it's still less than
yeah.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. But like it's still that bar of gold that we had that we were all holding there that one night,
yes,
you know, like
at
Jamie's
SGB.
Yeah. That's still smaller, or that's still bigger than the 100 key, or no, wait. No, it's got to be, their math's got to be way off, because if it's $1 million, that gold bar that we were holding was like $1.6 million.
Correct. Yes. So, it said the prize according to additional wait. The contest terms and conditions describe the grand prize as a 217 1-ounce gold coins.
Value.
You trying to figure out
At
217?
35.65 an ounce. I'm not sure if that's what's it in Canadian right now. I think it's
I think it's 5, isn't
40.
it?
Yeah. So that's got to be USD.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Okay. Well, let's just go. Here we go. All right. Silver gold bull.
Yeah, you pulled
Price
up
of
my
gold
there you
is
go.
no, we're both on the same page. 49.76 times 217. Actually, we'll call it 49.77. Times 217 is just over $1 million.
Yeah. Hey, if you're ever interested in getting into gold, look at that chart.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Keep in mind that that's just a year.
Now, do you want to say anything else on this? We veered off course on trying to figure out if that was $1 million. There is, as far as I understand, a treasure hunt going across country for $1 million.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be handy if it was like, I don't know, a few miles away from my house?
Sure. People can go read a cryptic poem and try and uncover the clues. And folks, you could go win $1 million.
Zane says it made 8% in the year. Maybe 8% this year, but like over the past over the past 365 days, it's gone up. Well, what was it, like 33 now to 5? So you're looking at like 40% in a year. Like basically the first few people to ask for the Sean Newman discounted silver gold bull are laughing all the way to the bank.
Here, I'll pull it right there. Okay. I'll go back.
That's more than 8%.
It started
keep
at
in mind-
33.98 on September 5th a year ago, and today it's at 49.43. There you go.
That's
Once again, the match.
It's 68.7% year over year.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, really?
68.7. Yep.
If you're wondering about SGB or you're wanting to get gold and silver, shameless plug because they do sponsor the podcast, silvergoldbull.ca. They started their business in Rocky Mountain House. Just saying. Okay.
And if you mention Sean Newman, you get a discount on your purchases.
Thanks, Twos. See, Twos always gives me shit because I never add in all the things. Canada has pledged to plant 2 billion trees. Here's how close we are. And it says we're a tenth of the way there.
Yeah, we're basically not on par to make it. Interesting thing, though, is that at the same time that we decide we need 2 billion more trees in Canada, we've been spraying herbicides all over the forests.
Yeah,
we need 2 billion more trees. Well, how many have we killed? How many have we killed by spraying Roundup on the forest? Yeah,
herbicide to be sprayed, dropped across the Ottawa Valley Forest. Glyphosate, known as the most common weed-killing chemical in Canada, is set to be dropped across select forests in Renfrew County. This isn't like, I know this is like, what? But like, I go back a year ago to the Jasper forest fire conversation, and they were talking about this then.
Yep.
So like, this is happening in other places other than just Ottawa.
It's happening in Nova Scotia, and they're no longer disclosing where and how much they're spraying. Which is kind of a big deal if you happen to be like out in the woods and you're like, is it raining? No, it's fucking Roundup. Well, that's probably not going to be great.
No, but EVs are saving 11,000 people. Enbridge gives go ahead for 2 natural gas transmission projects. The company says,
this is great. We don't even need to get into it. I think it's absolutely wonderful that, you read this headline. Enbridge gives go ahead for 2 natural gas transmission products. Enbridge, Canadian company, huge success, great win for the industry. Where are the pipelines?
In the U.S.
In the U.S. This is our media, folks.
Jody Gondak. Today I announced public safety as a cornerstone of my I hate how she used cornerstone. That really bugs me. Cornerstone of my re-election campaign, ending open drug use on Calgary streets while providing real recovery pathways.
Yep. Meanwhile, Calgary's first forest bathing trail opens soon at Inglewood Bird Sanctuary. You can go around and there's 10 different spots in this bird sanctuary where you can take a bath. I can't see how this could possibly go wrong regarding Calgary's homeless crackhead policy. Jody Gondek is saying that she's going to crack down on the crackheads. You've got to be high on crack to think that this is a good person to vote for.
How many weeks is it, twos, until we see videos? Because it says visitors can borrow from a selection of seat maps and tarps while they use the trail, though they must return them to a bin at the welcome sign when finished. How long? How long, twos, until we see videos?
Tarps?
Yes, until we see them all gone, or how long? Are we thinking a week? Are we putting the over under on a week? Are we saying within the month? Where are we going here? I feel like we're going to do a follow-up story on this.
The Inglewood Bird Sanctuary, if I'm looking at this map right, and if I'm thinking about roughly where it is, that's in easy striking distance of the giant homeless shelter downtown. Okay, literally, I did not know until last year what crack smoke smelled like. But just being at downtown Calgary one time, I did. Middle of the day, like 4 p.m. on a Thursday, right in front of, the Bow Tower where there's that giant mesh head. I had some crazy prostitute lady yelling at me across the street, trying to get me to pay money to have sex with her at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday.
Have I never told you my story of going to the Western Standards office? And it's like right across from, what is that, the C train, I assume? Or the parking lot. Sorry, I parked in a parking lot. Then there's the C train. And then there's a building.
Okay.
And I was in the middle of the day. So probably like 1 p.m. I left, went in, talked to the guys at Western Standard, came back out. And there's a group of 3 huddled by my car doing it. And I was like, "Whoop." And I was like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, I got to sneak by them, get in my car and drive away. That was like 1 o'clock. And then I had a good friend be like, "Where'd you park?" "Yeah, don't leave your vehicle there after dark." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, you don't want to be down there."
There's a lot of places where you don't want to park overnight in downtown Calgary. Literally right underneath the Calgary Tower, there's a parking lot right across from it. And I was in that parking lot at like 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday. And this random homeless dude's just yelling gibberish at me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like, that's probably a direct quote. And I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? And then he just drops his pants and starts swinging his pecker around. He's doing like a helicopter, like manually, though. He's not doing the hip thrust thing. He's manually swinging it around. And this thing was a hog. Like, I could hear the whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. It did not mess around. And this is the state of downtown Calgary.
You're making me cry on this side. Somebody else, come on, that was funny. That's funny.
It's a true story.
Man. He's not even using his legs. He's not doing the hip thrust. Oh, man. Okay. A pirate final resting place. Peg Leg Pete now under legal scrutiny.
So this is the Fernandina Observer from Fernandina, Florida. It's just up in the top right corner, basically right near the Florida-Georgia line. And they were going to take down or do something with the statue. And then they realized that, it's got a dead body in it. And so they're wondering if it's the actual pirate, which would be pretty cool. I would love to just be, my final resting place. If it isn't the family cemetery in Saskatchewan, I would want it to be
a giant statue,
an amusement park fucking statue.
4 hikers rescued after suffering debilitating psychedelic mushroom high in New York's Catskill Mountains.
Yeah. So they went to go on, like a, what do you call it? Where they go out into the woods and
wander
psychedelic
trip. I don't know.
And then they got high as fuck and they were tripping balls and they had to call the government to come rescue them.
Correct. 5 French women boxers to miss world championships over deadline for new sex tests. Female
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're probably not women.
Female boxers have to undergo a polymerase chain reaction test or an equivalent genetic screening test to determine their sex at birth.
How about just, do you have a dick? Well,
Champagne.
Like, here's the thing with boxing, it can be really simple. Just the first thing you do at the start of the match is that each boxer punches the other one in the junk. That's all you got to do. You don't need to get anybody to whip anything out and do a helicopter. You don't need to perform qualitative tests on DNA. Just, I'm going to punch you in the junk. You're going to punch me in the junk. And if one of us drops, they probably shouldn't be there in the first place.
Champagne says adjustments coming to the public service as Ottawa reviews spending. Finance Minister François Philippe Champagne acknowledged Thursday that adjustments are coming to the public service as Ottawa looks to trim its spending in the fall budget.
You know where they're having that discussion right now? At a liberal retreat. They're literally going on a liberal retreat to try and come up with ways to spend less taxpayer money.
Didn't we already prove the PCR test couldn't bring any real results?
That's a PCR test, though. That's not quite the same thing as a gender thing.
Well,
That
it literally
fancy-
says
no,
a PCR test, too. It literally said PCR test.
Seriously?
Or an
Is there anything
equivalent-
those things can't do?
Or an equivalent genetic screening test to determine their sex at birth.
So every
Zane's
time
on it. Zane's
somebody
on it.
got a false positive, is it just because they wiped their dick on it or what?
I don't know. Ambulance
but
care.
no, let's just real quick. The Liberal government is doing another one of their. Do you remember last time when they spent $1 gazillion on market rate lobster in Prince Edward Island? That same fucking retreat is the one they're on right now, where they're just sitting there in like 2-inch thick hotel bathrobes with their feet up, getting manicured and being fed caviar and I don't know, probably something fucking endangered, and saying, well, yes, I've been wondering, Charles, how do you think that we could curb spending?
Ambulance carrying a crash victim crashes in LA, drawing a crash investigator who also crashes.
I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
There's this, okay. So so-called friends took turns shooting at each other wearing a Kevlar helmet inside a house in residential neighborhood using a rifle. Upon arrival, units found an adult male who sustained what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the head, was transported to hospital, but died from injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I just actually, you know what? It didn't get released there, but I do have a picture of one of the guys. This is literally the scene from Super Troopers, except instead of the metal can, they shot themselves in the head, and believe it or not, one of them died.
Okay. Show the Edmonton scooter video, would you?
Oh, I've been really wanting to show the Edmonton scooter video. All right, here we go. And this is definitely worth the audio on this is pretty good. So if you're having trouble hearing it, turn it up a little bit.
I don't fucking care. Y'all are fucked up.
So a guy on a scooter is stopping traffic in Edmonton.
Because he's mad because somebody was turning towards him and almost hit him.
You fucking goof, you little fucking tranny bitch. What the fuck? You were driving into me. Get the fuck out of the way. I don't fucking care. He turned into me and I'm fucking moving. Oh, you're fucking moving, boy. Fuck out the way, man. Fuck you. Get the fuck over. I'm fucking moving. This fucker tried to fucking run me over. And I'm going to run you the fuck over. Let's fucking do it, bitch.
Famous last words. He's throwing him. Remember, like the '90s when they used to just like very obviously put dummies in comedic situations where they would just toss them around and stuff like that. That's literally how this guy is getting tossed around. Notice that it actually here. Just I'm gonna rewind it real quick. You can see that he's got his mask pulled down around his chin while he's outside on a scooter by himself.
Really? I didn't see the mask. I didn't see that. There was a mask on there?
Yeah, you can. Well, here, if I.
Oh, yeah, you can too.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And fucking do it, bitch. Well, if you insist.
Well, it's funny. Last night, the Bobcats in town had their evening of champions. So Louis DeBrusque was on stage and he was talking about driving on the Anthony Henday.
Mhm.
And so you had Louis DeBrusque talking about him and Luke Gazdick getting like tailed by somebody obviously upset with him. And he's like, I don't think they really want us to pull over. And I'm like, in that video, I'm like, you're messing with the wrong group of human beings when you got a whole, like the two guys that step out of that in the video. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look enjoyable at all.
No.
No.
And then one's like the big dude. He's got the shaved head like a Buddhist monk.
Show the video of Garant.
I knew the
There we
cost of
go.
living crisis was getting bad, but fuck me. Security protection on the butter. They don't even do this for fucking guns in America. Does something that costs $5.49 really need this level of protection? I mean, don't get me wrong, that is a fucking scandalous price for a bit of butter. We've all been so busy reading about fucking Elon Musk on Twitter, we didn't even realize there was a Kerrygold theft epidemic right in our fucking doorstep. What are they doing with it? Are they selling it on the fucking black market? This is going to add a lot of unnecessary stress to making a few slices of toast. Before you eat the toast, guys, I just want you to know everything is above board. I've purchased the butter legally. I went through all the security checks. And this is only the start of it. Before you know it, you'll be going into the supermarket and the potatoes will be under a fucking army escort. Actually, I wish we thought of that a couple of 100 years ago. You'll have to have all your liquid before you enter the bread aisle. Disgraceful. Follow me. I'm delicious.
Do you know how many potatoes it takes to starve an Irishman?
How many?
0.
Greta Thunberg. You want to show that video? I assume you do. I assume you want Greta on the show.
Yeah. So here's Greta. You guys forgot about her, but she still exists.
We all forgot about her.
And
we
Palestine is the new climate change.
Story is also about a global uprising, about how people are stepping up when our governments fail to do so.
She looks like every single bad guy from The Princess Bride got merged together.
Okay.
Arkwad haircut? Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great.
There's this. The air show in downtown Toronto. This is not merely a show for people. It is a deep trauma for the families of Palestinians whose homes were destroyed by Israeli bombings in Gaza. That's cruelty, not entertainment. So that's.
I thought it was mostly rockets that were hitting in Palestine, right? I thought they were just always firing rockets at each other, not that they were doing aerial bombings. It doesn't even seem to be historically accurate, let alone the fact that it's retarded.
The NDP leadership is underway, and the party is limiting signatures from cis men. Can't
This
even
is
believe
a
we're saying.
great story. It was all over Twitter for like one day. Everybody had just learned about it, and they were fascinated to hear this. And we covered it on the Mashup 3 weeks ago.
Correct. Paintings stolen by Nazis during World War II, believed discovered in Argentine real estate listing.
Yeah, because that's where they all went, folks.
This is the painting portrait of the lady. That's who you decided to.
And that apparently is a portrait that they have been just keep it there for a minute. Just look at that woman's face. They have been trying to get this famous portrait back for the past 75 years or whatever. I would pay money to somebody to keep me from seeing that painting. She looks about as happy to see the painter in that painting as I am to see that painting of her. And keep in mind that historically, the painters used to always try and be more flattering, right? They would reduce the less than flattering aspects of a person and just kind of they basically, it was like the first Photoshop. So if that's how that woman looked in that painting, just imagine how she looks in real life or did.
There's the actual painting, if anyone cares. Okay. Okay. What do we else we got here? We got the sex for rent contracts in Canada becoming popular. Undercover investigator catches one in the act in the video below. Is this how far Canada's fallen? Landlords trying to take advantage of young, vulnerable girls.
I mean, it's a crazy new development in our culture. New sex for rent agreements become popular in Canada. I remember back in the day, we used to just call it marriage.
Okay. Hard-nosed investigation. OPP.
Is this thing on?
OPP released a video on the careless firearms use. So I think a lot of us saw the videos being shown of the, 4 men shooting off guns on the top of a bridge.
Yeah.
And they asked for help.
It was just this.
Can you identify these people?
Big in-depth investigation. Here's
circulating on social media showing individuals discharging firearms in a careless and unsafe manner. 7-7.
Okay. So they're asking for help.
Their top priority.
Now, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing the way the community came together to track these guys down. Literally from the video that he's referencing, that there are stills of. Literally from that video, the car's license plate is clearly visible. CZCA115. They literally put stills from that video in a public request for tips and information regarding the possible identities of these people. And they didn't think to maybe just look at the bottom of the screen where their license plate is and then maybe talk to somebody like, I don't know, the fucking police who could just look that up and be like, oh, that's Bill's car. Let's go talk to Bill.
On other news, Jim Sinclair says, no, they use person airstrikes. There you go.
I think he is very cleverly saying suicide bombers.
Happy news. Happy news this week. Live action Street Fighter movie coming out.
Yeah. So remember a few weeks ago, we talked about the fact that there's a Mortal Kombat movie coming out? Well, apparently that's not where the happiness ends, because you've got a live action Street Fighter movie coming out. Jason Momoa is going to be in it. 50 Cent, Eric Andre, and Andrew Schultz of all people.
Yeah.
And so here it is.
Here it is
for it.
You think it'll be any good?
No, but I think it's going to be horribly awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, remember the first one? For you,
no,
it
I
was
don't.
The worst day of your life. For me, it was Thursday.
Other happy news, Rob Schneider. I'd like to thank the flatulent and utterly incompetent British government for the free promotion of our studio, Friendly Fire Studio, and Graham Linehan?
Linehan.
Newest TV show, Tenor.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know who this is the guy who created Father Ted, which I've never watched. I'd never even heard of until he was recently on Rogan. But the other thing he did was he was the brains behind a beauty of a gem called The IT Crowd. That guy basically just got canceled entirely. Nobody will work with him in show business anymore. Totally blacklisted because he said some pretty common things like dudes shouldn't play in women's sports. And now he can't work at all in the entertainment industry. And so then Rob Schneider's new studio scooped him up and they're like, hey, you're a comedic genius. You've got this brilliant track record of multiple successful TV programs and some of the funniest stuff ever filmed. How would you like to come work for us? Keep in mind, on the other end of it, They looked past Kevin Spacey for years doing greasy shit. Who's the guy? Bryan Singer, the guy who wrote and directed The Usual Suspects. Yes, it's a cinematic masterpiece. But that guy, through The Usual Suspects, through the X-Men movies, was doing some really bad stuff behind the scenes. And they just turned a blind eye to that for years. Because, hey, he gets results. But if somebody says, hey, you know what? I think maybe dudes shouldn't whip out their peckers in front of women in change rooms. Canceled. So, I mean, congratulations to Hollywood for being really consistent in your values and showing people exactly what you see as being and not being acceptable. But you're just going to leave this, you're going to leave this low-hanging fruit lying there. Someone's going to scoop it up, and I'm sure whatever he's going to be doing is going to be hilarious.
Grill manufacturer accidentally lists Canadian couple's number as their helpline. Couple decides to take calls anyways. When grill manufacturer Napoleon accidentally listed Clausen and Kim Jonovic's telephone number as the company's helpline, the Canadians didn't get upset, ignore the phone, or change their number. Instead, they fielded every call. They happened to own a Napoleon grill and liked the brand, so they made sure that those callers got the help they needed. As a show of their appreciation, Napoleon named the couple honorary customer ambassadors and gave them a Napoleon Prestige 665.
Oh, the 665 is a pretty fancy model. But I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. I don't know. I enjoyed the story.
And then Yves Veggie Cuisine, one of Canada's longest-standing plant-based food brands, to be discontinued.
I mean, I don't know why it's in the happy news. That's obviously quite tragic for both of the people who really enjoyed eating it.
Okay, community notes here this week. Okay, we got Quick Dick McDick is coming to Lashburn November 22nd. That's a fundraiser for the Lashburn playground. So if anyone's interested in seeing Quick Dick McDick in the Lloyd area or want to travel further, I will be there as well, but not doing anything, just chilling, hanging out. But Quick Dick coming to Lashburn in November. You got the We Unify conference here in 13 days, September 19th to 21st in Calgary. So that's coming up.
Yeah, it's at the BMO Center in the Stampede grounds. Check out this lineup. All right, look at this. Viva Fry, Garnet Jean-Louis, Michael Binion, Michelle Ferrari, Bruce Party, Leighton Gray, Lisa Beldy, Dree Humphrey, Lisa Robinson, Marty Up North, Michael Wagner, Tristan Hopper. That's like 1/6 of the names, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch more that aren't even listed. They've been bugging me to speak. I don't have the time. I don't, but I would love to. I think I might see if I can just pop by and say hi for a little bit, but definitely an absolute who's who.
Then also in we got the Sundry Harvest Festival Rowdy Rooster Contest. Okay,
what's a Rowdy Rooster? What is a Rowdy Rooster Contest, Sean?
I'll bring up the picture here. Give me a sec. Twos. Of course you were gonna ask that, and I don't have it sitting here. Okay, here we go. Rowdy Rooster Contest. How many times can your rooster crow? Enter our Rowdy Rooster Contest at the Sundry Harvest Festival. Sack of a grand? No. All roosters in cages covered until contest begins. Only one rooster per cage. Judge will tally number of crows per rooster once cages are uncovered at the start of contest. Cages must stay closed during the contest. Roosters can be of any breed and any age. Max two birds registered per owner.
So Sundry, Central Alberta, it's their fair weekend, and they have a rooster crowing contest. No affiliation with us.
No affiliation, but that's super cool. And then Kieran Gardner and the Blucher Boys, Saturday, September 13th, here in Lloyd at Cheers Live. So if you're looking for a band to come see, they're going to be here in Lloydminster. And finally, what everybody's been kind of like, is he going to talk about it? The Mashup? What are we calling this? The Mash Spiel? Or is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, I guess. Sure. Yeah. We'll call it the Mash Spiel. Mash Spiel. Working name. Mash Spiel.
Mash Spiel, November 29th.
Yep. Go ahead.
Mash Spiel, November 29th in Kalmar. It's just east of Leduc. We've confirmed that us two will be there. Jamie Sinclair, Chuck Prodniks. We got Room for 16 teams available. We're going to start registration on Mashup 175. We got to get a few things ironed out. If you're interested, you can text me. I'm fine with that for the time being, but we got a few things to iron out before we get there.
Basically, what it is we're all just going to get together and have a bonspiel. And if you've ever been to a bonspiel before, you know exactly what you're looking at. And if you've never been to a bonspiel, it's just a bunch of people hanging out, drinking some beer, having a good time, curling, and just chewing the fat and hanging out. I don't know. We got to figure out. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything special for it in terms of, I don't know. Whatever. But the point is that
we're
definitely
right
now,
we're working out some details, but the Mash Spiel coming November 29th. And if you're interested in a curling Saturday with the mashup and a few notable guests, that's coming. Mark your calendar. You will have to register. There's room for 64 people or 16 teams. And I already know of one team that's already in. I should give a shout out to Tyler and his company, and I'll pull that up right now too, because I should have had that ready too. Let's see here. Brymar Electric. So Brymar Electric is helping us with it. So shout out to Tyler and his wife. They're going to be, they have stepped up and are helping organize and helping pay for part of it. So that's super cool. And I don't know. It's just awesome to have cool people want to work with us. And if you're interested in being a part of it, pay attention on Mashup 175. We'll be releasing all the details. If you're interested in getting ahead of the game, yes, you can text me and I can share some info as we get closer. But Mashup 175 going to have all the details. And then Michelle Krieger says last day for extended early bird pricing for tickets to the Prairie Rising Forum in Regina, October 18th. So that is today, last day for early bird tickets there.
And Zane seems to like the name. Zane says Mash Spiel is the way to go.
There you go. Okay. Mashup 174, twos. Any final thoughts?
That's basically it. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. Leanne says she got tickets. We haven't even put them on sale yet.
Prairie Rising Forum, you dick.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense, actually.
That'll do it for us this week. Mashup 174, as always, we're here every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We appreciate you guys being along for the ride this morning and look forward to catching up with you all next week. Twos, as always, great to have you. And we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the mashup.